So next story here is Roblox creators are making millions of dollars. I was actually really surprised by this one, Yaro, when you show this, because my son is really big into gaming. He has learned how to mod Minecraft already, and the fact that he just loves gaming so much, I could totally see him getting into something like this. He plays Roblox as well. When I first saw Roblox, I was like, this is just weird what it was, because like there's just so many different types of things you could do in it, and it's all made by creators, basically. So why don't you explain the story here about Megan Plays?
Yeah, so I was sitting in this big audience listening to this woman named Megan Plays, who's got pink hair, total kind of cartoon-like character. And she's talking about, how she, plays the game Roblox and records herself or streams live on YouTube and makes videos. So she's a traditional gaming YouTuber to begin with, which I've been familiar with. I mean, I remember my little brother would watch video gamers game Roblox and other games as well. Different from me. I remember growing up playing Nintendo and playing Sega. I don't know if I would have watched kids on YouTube. Probably would. It's just the thing to do. But then she started talking about how she wanted to get a game made herself. So this is where, like you, Matt, I'm not really into Roblox, but the layers in this game where you can create your own world, your own game for other gamers to play, and this can be a source of income for you as well. We should mention that there's this thing called Robux. It's their own digital currency. I mean, it's funny we're talking about crypto so much, but Robux is its own economy already. It has real value. So it's a digital currency that works today. So she went to get games, or wanted to hire basically a dev shop, an agency, to get a game made. She used the word like getting absolutely fleeced by this company, spent a lot of money, didn't get much back, and then decided I'm going to do it myself. So she, as a creator, then went and built an entire basically engineering dev shop for Roblox game manufacturer. Apparently about 70 engineers inside a building, just making Roblox games. And she then gets partnerships with whatever big brands who want to, as part of a campaign, have a Roblox playable environment, which can be just like a branding play, a product launch play.
Check this. Check this.
Yeah.
Listen to this. Developers can opt into the STARS program on a yearly basis, and Roblox gets exclusive licensing rights for their properties for the next 5 years. If any of the developers' offerings are turned into toys, they receive a 50% share of the royalties, and Roblox keeps the rest. So they want to start licensing the IP that is created by these creators, and these creators are now getting a cut of that. That is huge. I mean, imagine you're creating your own game. They're basically created a platform to create games within, which has all these users. And then if it gets popular, and then you're also getting royalties from like toys
from
and
merch,
like whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's the metaverse. It already exists.
Yeah,
I was reading a similar quote. Wired says that building experiences on Roblox teaches the fundamentals of coding, digital civility, and entrepreneurship, and has helped many begin their careers in STEM. Roblox gave developers $129.7 million in the second quarter of 2021. To over 600 developers. And now, was it over 600 developers earn over $85,000 a year from their Roblox creation? So I love this because this is a part of being a creator, and it's a gaming creator where there's such a clear path to actually making money that's not about ads. It's something you can control, you own, and like you just said, Matt, you get the merch aspect of it.
And it's also like children get into this. Like my son's 6 years old is into doing this sort of thing, like I enrolled him in a course about how to like mod Minecraft and do things in Minecraft, right? And you see a lot of YouTubers will mod Minecraft and make videos within that mod and doing that sort of thing. You see Mr. Beast doing it on his Mr. Beast gaming channel. So the same thing here is like kids.
Do you guys feel lost when you watch these things?
Which ones, like the Minecraft stuff?
Yeah, like because I watch this and I'm like, I don't really know what's going on. Like I feel really like I'm old.
Yeah, I feel like that every day. I'm like, okay, so that's it. That must have been what my parents or the grandparents or whatever saw when we were kids, maybe playing these video games to begin with. I find it fascinating. The ecosystem of this is very fascinating. because again, like the nature of having the platform to, because I remember actually growing up, I was definitely into video games and into modding before there was any compensation for that kind of stuff. But for me, it was like, you know, Half-Life and stuff like that. But you know, now it's like for kids to have a platform to be able to tap into an existing ecosystem and platform to develop and then potentially make some money from it and also develop the skill. I don't know. I think that's pretty cool. Like I'm really cautiously optimistic about the future. I tend to think everything's going to go downhill, but you know, I have to give props where credit is due, and it seems like that's a pretty fascinating like opportunity for a lot of kids to get into.
And if you want to experience the metaverse, go to Roblox.
Well, on that point, Yaro, I'm curious. Like on the metaverse, and people talk about the metaverse, and I'm curious on that piece. Like it does seem to me like I see how it already exists in some pieces. Like if you went back far enough, you remember what was it, Second Life? I never played it or whatever, but I was aware of it, and it seemed like some people were like really into it. There were these communities that built up in these digital spaces, these video games or whatever, but they were like self-contained ecosystems. So I'm curious, is the metaverse just like a name we give for that same thing? Like I definitely see how these self-contained ecosystems can develop, but will they, like, is the metaverse then saying it's going to be cross-platform in some way? Like how do all these things come together? Or is it just like this idea of more digital ecosystems?
Yeah, you know, I've been thinking about this. I think right now, Roblox is possibly the single best example of a one platform metaverse, right? Like it's got its own rules, its own structure, landscape, its own money, a way to build companies within the platform itself, to be just a player, to represent yourself with an avatar, all that sort of thing. But I think what you're hinting at and what we all kind of think of as metaverse is more than that. It's like we're going to go to the Twitter metaverse and people will just be sharing news and we'll be having some interaction there through, I don't know if it'll be like a 3D virtual glasses kind of experience, augmented reality or virtual reality, whatever it is. And then I think when it really starts to get crazy is kind of like now, you know, we upload something to YouTube and then the clip is shared on TikTok and then the quote is taken and put on Twitter, and then that Twitter quote appears on NBC News. And those are all different places and platforms where one piece of content is kind of being distributed. Take that idea and put it in the metaverse and imagine, like, you know, someone, like, this is what blew my mind as well about the whole Roblox thing. They're one of the biggest stage, like the most kids were coming to see this group of Roblox gamers, right? And they just stream themselves playing the game. And there is fan fiction written about these kids, like, you know, the adventures they go on, the dramas between them all. There's like, it's almost like a movie narrative. It's like Marvel, where they're real kids playing a video game. And all these other kids are you know, interacting in some shape or form. Some of it's even like romance fan fiction. So they're like talking about real kids having romance. Anyway, it's all over the place. But you take that and think about it, you know, extrapolating into different platforms. Kid does something in Roblox, gets onto mainstream news, it goes onto another platform, and then that's where it's kind of disseminating. But there won't be one metaverse, so to speak. It's going to be, you know, your way to interact and how old you are and what's your preferred tool of choice, but it will all be meshed together. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, I was just looking at Wikipedia, and it says that this was like developed and released in like 2004, 2006, Roblox. I'm like, I just have never heard of this really until now that you're saying it. But again, it's just one of those fascinating things where like these massive niches or massive industries that you're not even aware of. I think that's fascinating too. Like that there's this whole world built around this video game architecture or platform. It's fascinating.
Roblox is now a public company. It looks like they launched at around $70 a share. They peaked at $140 a share, $140, $160. And today they're at $40 a share. So, you know, it's interesting that this could be actually a good investment, because I think you're right. If this is kind of like the best example of a metaverse, and once we get that, you know, the VR technology and all that kind of stuff and this whole industry happening within it, I could see this really blowing up over the next few years. I mean, if this is correct and they just launched in March of 2021, then, you know, they're still pretty early in the game here. So
it is one place to experience the metaverse. If you know, if it's all kind of fuzzy to you, go in there, play, buy something. But like you said, this has been around for ages.
Yeah.
There's been MMOs, right, for a long time, and they've had in-game currencies that you could buy things, and you can buy property inside these things. So, yeah, it's interesting. But we're gonna move on.